Typical morning at West Cork Wander. Forgot. Some breakfast. Some anti-inflammatory painkillers. A big bucket of tea. A dog in the sunniest part of the caravan. And a missus working from home. Say hi. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday, my parents came short notice for Father's Day, and they wanted to deliver a few presents. I got a new builder shovel. I got a sledgehammer. Charming, Rooney. Charming. Sledgehammer. I got another shovel for measuring quantities for the mixer, and yeah, so they dropped it off. My dad wanted do a few hours work, and so we demolished the wall here. So this is the clearest our bedroom has looked ever. So we demolished all of the wall here. That left a ton of rubble, and we decided to undo Claire's good work, and we put all of the rubble into the piggery. So I need to now level this off to a degree. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be roughly leveled, and then I will use sand just to get it perfectly level. On top of this, then we'll put our insulation and we'll give it a little screed. But before I do that, I want to get the levels between the bedroom, the piggery and the kitchen. So I'm gonna make a start on knocking this kitchen down. If I can, I'll save as many as the concrete blocks from the outside. It looks like there's very little mortar, but I think this is just kind of weathered off. From the inside the mortar looks pretty tight, so I don't know if I can save the blocks. I'm going to try to dismantle the sewerage anyway, because it's attached to it, so this might be a tricky job. I'll go down and get my tools. I'll give you a show of them. So this is the 10-pound, 4.5 kilo sledgehammer he got me. I presume he was sick of watching me use a splitting axe, a green splitting axe. That's his actually. This is mine now. He got me a builder shovel, which is fierce, useful for a lot of different things. Has really good reach. My spade was a bit too small. It has a nice point for prying things, quite sturdy, and it just has more capacity than my other shovel, so pretty good tools all around. So I climbed the ladder to look at how best to demolish this. I want to demolish it forward into the kitchen because the sewage pipes here that are very brittle. I don't want to crack them, but it's a little bit ropey and I'm not sure it's possible. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to start to level this space, and if I need to put a ladder in this space, we'll put it in there. I'm going to try and level it. We see how I get on. one of the really big flags that was clearly too heavy to remove from the piggery was left leaning up against the wall, and when we were tipping things in, we were tipping them in from here and through the window there, we didn't see it, so clearly we covered it, and it's actually above the line I need. Where is it? Maybe it's not. I'll try and get it out. If I can't get it out, I'll leave it there. I don't want to move all this, like, what is it, 4 tons of rubble. Oh, fuck. Okay, so I've very roughly gotten to the level I want. This side is a little bit higher and more sandy. This side is a little bit more lower and rocky, concretey. This is because I'm going to redo the surfaces coming down here, so I just want a little bit of access. Anyway, this doesn't need to be perfect. It's still going to come up quite high because we still have a bit of insulation and then a little screed on top of it. So yeah, we'll just use a bit of sand to level this off. I might try and take the inside down a little bit. That seems higher, alright. And I'll get a true level once I take down this wall here, or not wall, the door. So I'm going to have this as a pathway through. In order to do that, I should really take down this because I'm raising the height, so the lintel's all rotten anyway. I'll just take down this piece of stone. The lintel is placed into the wall at 2 points, and if you remember, the shed on the opposite side had another lintel put in above. So in fact, let me show you. So in order to take down this lintel, I really want to repair this old lintel hole. So I'm thinking my plan of action is very loosely give this another going over, just get it a little bit more level, but I'm happy enough with that. I can put a few boards across the ground down there now if I want to tackle the demolition from this side with the ladder. So I'm happy with the piggery. Knock the kitchen, take out the window, so I'll have a pathway through the whole way. I'll have to just repair the wall and open up this, and then we should be able to see a corridor all the way from the bedroom down to the living space. So next project, the next piece of work is demolition. Harder than I thought. The big sledgehammer is too heavy, have this small little 2-pound hammer, I think. My ladder is right here, so I really can't pull the stones back, so I'm rolling them down and knocking them off. I've only broken one, and that's because one concrete block fell on top. I tried to carry one down the ladder, and that was just impossible. So I'm going to take the next 2 courses off, and then there's plaster on the inside, so it's going to be very different trying to get that down. But I think I can do that standing. I'm not sure how to protect the pipes really. We'll see. Okay, so no ladder, I'll work standing here. As you can see, most of them came down intact. I just lost one in the corner where another block fell on top of it. So I think I'm going to try and use them for the retaining wall down here. This would be the back of our kitchen. I'll try and use as many as possible anyway. So modern building regulations in Ireland suggest that when you're designing it with your architect or engineer, you have as low a CO2 level as possible, or even a negative CO2 level. If I pour new concrete, I'm increasing the CO2 consumption of the house. Concrete, for I think for 1 ton of concrete you release 1 ton of CO2 gas, so it's not terribly efficient. What's worse, well, what's slightly better but not as bad, is concrete that's already been used in a house. When you just throw that to landfill or dump it somewhere, just a big pile in your garden, which I could have done. We're starting to build a pile of rubbish, of kind of building rubble, and we're going to leave it there until we finished all projects in a couple of years. But then I thought, if they're kind of decent quality blocks, I should try and use them, and it won't create more CO2, let's say. It'll be kind of a neutral CO2. I'll still have to put a little bit of concrete in the middle with rebar to keep them rigid, but they should be fine for anything underground, like footings or retaining walls or something like that. The other thing, to have a negative CO2 footprint, the use of timber framing is suggested. So when a tree grows, it absorbs a lot of CO2 and it converts it and produces oxygen. We learned about this in school. But it means when you build a house with timber frame, you're putting all of that trapped CO2 into the house and you're not releasing it. So by reusing concrete material and by going for a timber frame on the new parts we build, it's going to be better for the environment. It's also a bit cheaper to reuse them. It's a little bit more time consuming because, you know, I'd love to get a mini digger or something just to tear it all down and throw it in the skip. That'd be fast. This takes a bit more time, but I don't think I do a mini digger anyway. Insofar as is possible, I'd like to see how I do all of this by hands, just so I'd understand, you know, how our ancestors used to do it. And I'm really feeling it in my arms, actually. Yesterday we dug so much rubble, dumped it in there, and my father did all the demolition, to be honest. But I'm really feeling it. I normally have an easy day after a hard day, but this is a little bit harder than I thought. But let's drive on, see how far we get. So as I'm taking it down, I don't want to leave this wall unsupported, so I think I will start to take it down diagonally. So half of it still has support on this side, but this side, maybe I'll just take that down. this patch here, for some reason, is poured concrete. So it's pretty tough. And then this part here, which is the old outhouse, that seems to be concrete. So I mean, this part seems to be cement concrete block. This is a poured concrete, so it's a little bit harder to get through. I only want to take the window out, but I seem to have to follow this big guy in. So I thought you were on time lapse. Don't know how much you've missed. When I'm smashing the concrete blocks, I find I can rock them, and this will release the mortar and help move them down on intact. So I tried doing that with the window, but funnily enough, glass panes do not like to be rocked. So my cold frame is going to have broken glass. I'm not that bothered because, as you can see here, somebody a long time ago fixed it by siliconing some perspex on the outside. So I'm not too upset if it's a bit broke. I was upset that I didn't think that through though. Okay, let's see what we can do. Okay, so yeah, it's going good now. I can pull them down fairly easily. I have way more concrete blocks than I thought I was gonna get. I have a huge stack there. There's more on the ground. So I'm actually running out of space in here now. And I also threw a fair amount out this window here, which is all good. I'm running out of space in this old kitchen, so I think I'm going to take a break, cup of tea, take a pint or two of cordial, elderflower cordial actually, I must say. We got loads of elderflowers on the farm, and our neighbour is bringing us litres and litres of the stuff, and elderflower cordial apparently is very good for you, but it tastes delicious. Yeah, so take a break and I'll come back then, maybe tidy up in here, and I might start to lay out the concrete blocks to recycle them. See how it goes. Okay, so I'm after a bit of lunch. I had a little bit of a clean, change from shirt, charge the GoPro. I'm full up in here now in our kitchen. Can we see it there? Wall's coming down nicely, but it's full of concrete blocks, so I am going to start to move the concrete blocks down to this end. I'm just going to line them up just to have an idea whether it's going to work as a retaining wall or not, and I'm just essentially going to take them out of the kitchen so I can continue the demolition. So on for some exciting manual labor. So, oh, look at that. So I'm going to lay one course. You can't even see that, can you? I think that's okay. Okay. So now you can see. I'm gonna lay one course to move out of the kitchen, and then I'm going to bring the rest of the blocks and stack them. Then I'm going to get them level, just putting stones and that underneath them, and then I'll think about a second or third course. So, I mean, it's not majorly cleaned out, but it's enough space for me to knock a few more and stack them. So, let me knock a few more and stack them. Okay. Just had a little break there. The builders merchants delivered another 6 tons of aggregate and our V-Lux and some cement, so I had to help coordinate that. Also, the guy fitting the pump was here. He's almost finished, so our new system is almost commissioned. Lost me a few hours. I'm going to try to see if I can get this finished today. I have another few jobs I have to do. See how it goes. like this half of the house, or this half of the back kitchen, was built with cavity blocks, so they have 2 cavities in them. Whereas as we're moving towards this side of the house, certainly here anyway, it looks like they used hollow blocks. Hollow blocks are a single. They have no holes in the top. They're actually hollowed the whole way through. They're not exactly what I'm looking for to build a retaining wall, so they're fine for building in general, but not how I was going to use them. So these might go, I might just stump them in the land somewhere for a future use. Don't know what to do, really. I'll put them aside anyway, we can figure something out. Okay, so we're not looking too bad there. A little bit hard to see with the sunshine, but we are at 2 block heights above, 2 block heights above the screed level here, let's say, or the concrete slab. I was intending to take it down to 1 block height, because 1 block height is going to be enough for the insulation and a little bit of screen on top of the insulation for the kitchen. However, we were going to keep it the same level as this will be the entrance hall. We're going to keep it the same level for the bathroom and utility there, and we're going to have a step up to our bedroom at the very end. However, if Claire does the excavation on the outside of the piggery and finds rock, that means we're going to have to put our services or sewerage from our bathroom at the end through the piggery, which means actually we want a little bit more space, another kind of another foot height, let's say. To that end, I'm going to leave 2 courses of the cavity block there, so you might come in the front door and you might have to step up immediately to go to utility, bathroom, bedroom. So we might have a step immediately as you come in the door, which wouldn't be ideal, but it wouldn't be the worst either. So yeah, so I'm going to leave that there for the time being. It's not that hard to take off. It's actually quite easy to take off. I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to start on the rest of this wall, and it does look great. However, there is still this half left, so still a bit to go. That's a good way to see that. And if you can see out the door here, this is where all of the concrete blocks are stacked. So I might move you over here. That's not bad. Okay. So it looks like the bathroom was added on, because this is all, the concrete blocks aren't tied together, which means that when I'm hitting this, the whole section is about to fall. It all wobbles, and I don't want it to fall because we're up quite high. We're about 1.5 meter drop on the other side, and the sewerage pipe is floating about 1 meter down, so really don't want to break that. Came close to breaking this, but we're okay. I don't want to break anything down there, so again, gotta go slow.